Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch the remote. Got a great show here today. We're going to talk about baseball, but we're not going to talk about too much about the players. We're going to talk about the people in the audience, and we're going to talk about a tornado that travels around inside the stadium. And that is one thing. But another area we're going to talk about is about respect, about giving up a seat, whether you're on a train, whether you're on a bus or something, where you think that some elderly person or a lady, is standing there like, oh, what a gang. Get up and give her your seat. Now, my guess is starting something new, and he's going to tell you about it. So, and also the fact that he gets into the stands at the baseball games, and everybody wants to take a picture with him, So now I want you to meet him. Tony Tornado
Penicow.
Good
to see you again. I'm
okay.
Glad to be
now,
back
what are you
on the
all
show
dressed
with you.
up for? What's the scoop on this?
Well,
How'd you get this idea?
About 15 years ago, came up with the idea just as a little seed. We were going to a game at the Old Vet Stadium. And
The Old Vet?
The Old Vet. Now, at Citizens Bank Park now, you have a lot of standing room areas. At the Old Vet, you didn't have that. We were going to a fireworks game on July 4th, and my mother was going, my father, my aunt, my uncle. And I said, it's July 4th. I should wear an Uncle Sam hat and maybe paint my face red, white, and blue. And my mother and my aunt said, if you do that, we don't want to sit with you. And I said, you promise? So I put an Uncle Sam hat on, a real cheap one that I won at a carnival, painted my face red, white, and blue. People were taking pictures with me, and I didn't really understand why. So a couple years later, I wore it to a company picnic at a baseball game, and people liked it again.
Right.
So I got one at a party store, and it was red, white, and blue, but it was sequined, a sequined Uncle Sam hat. And the Phillies won the World Series, and it became my good luck charm.
Oh.
So I used to wear it to all the games, and people would get pictures with me. And then we were going to another 4th of July game, and I found the old cheap, it wasn't a robe, but it was like a costume thing that I got. And I cut the sleeves off of it, and I did like an Uncle Sam outfit. And when my hat started falling apart, and Charlie Manuel signed it, and I said, this hat has to retire now. I said, I want to get a real nice hat made, one that won't cave in, that won't lose the sequins. So I found a woman, a Canadian woman that makes custom outfits, and she gave me the quote on it, and she was going to put the Phillies P on it. And then on there, I said, well, the shipping is so much, what would a cape cost? And she gave me the price, and I said, I'll do it. And if you see the one picture here, this is from spring training back 3 months ago, down in Clearwater, Florida, and I'm wearing the 2008 World Series ring. The owner of their minor league team has it. And
All right. Give me this one. I'll give you that one. Go ahead. Explain that one.
This is the back of it. It says Tornado on there, and the reason it says Tornado is I don't want anybody else wearing it, because I'm the Tornado. My father would try to wear it, then I'd have to rough him up a little bit.
Well, what's he, a hurricane?
He's a hurricane, a lightning bolt. I'm not too
How about
sure.
this one?
Now this is a scary looking guy right there. Oh, that's back in the day.
We have
This
something in common then,
Yes,
right?
we do, sir. This is back in my alma mater, Lock Haven University. I was a 2-time All-American for them, and I go up there every year for their annual boxing show, and then I get in the ring. I'm the vice president of their alumni team now. So I go back there every year, and then when all the alumni, we get together and we tell stories how great we used to be.
Oh.
But when I do this outfit...
Well, talk about boxing. I got a call from a promoter, Damon Fellman, and they're going to have a fight up in Downingtown on June the 24th. And the fact that I'm a retired referee, I'm supposed to be a legendary referee. I think I refereed Joe Frazier's 3rd pro fight, and I think I'm one of the last living referees that refereed Frazier's fight. So I'm going to be a guest referee for one of the fights. I don't know, I'll go maybe one round and I'll have to go sit down. All right, here's another one here.
This one here was from a game. It was the home opener last month. Went down, my father and I went down, and this was a Rocky Balboa impersonator. And since my outfit is a replica of Apollo Creed.
What's he say? Adrian!
He was like, hey, yo. And I was like, Italian Stallion versus Apollo Creed versus the Italian Stallion.
Well, yeah.
Sounds like a monster movie.
How about the other one? I could have been a contender.
I could have been someone. I could have been a contender.
Right. All right, who's this here? Oh,
Here was September 12th this past year. That was the weekend of my birthday. So we were having a birthday party at the Phillies game that night. And that day they were unveiling the Joe Frazier statue. And it was on his son's birthday. It was Marvis's birthday, September 12th. My birthday was the 13th. Marvis is in the back of the photo. And when I met Marvis and I was talking to him there that night, and I showed Marvis a picture of himself, Joe, and myself from 1994 when I was 17 years old. And I was a fresh face, a little bit of a stubble going, and there's a picture of me showing him the picture on my phone, and he was smiling.
Oh, yeah. I refereed Joe Frazier's second pro fight down the Philadelphia Arena. That's another one here.
That's me. That's just me having fun. I love to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at me there, you know, I'm in all my Italian colors.
Be
You know,
happy.
the red, white, and green. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
And that was from a friend's party, and they just kind of like, I do this to entertain people. Everything's about having fun.
All right, here's another one here. That's Rocky Marciano, who was my stablemate.
Yes.
We had the same manager and trainer.
I brought this in for you especially, Hank. This is when I went to Florida, the same when picture that I showed you earlier, same trip 2 months ago. And that was the one sports bar that I go to. And they had this mural painted on the wall. The sports bar used to be under different ownership. And when I was going there, they would always make me a special drink. So when I was going there and it was a new ownership, I emailed them. I said, will you still make me this one drink? And they said, all you got to do is ask your server to ask for the bartender Spencer, and he'll make it for you. So I go there, I take that picture, I order my special drink, and I said, Spencer will make this for me. Soon as the drink order went in, the whole management staff came out because they knew it was me. I wasn't even in costume yet. I was just dressed in a baseball hat and a t-shirt, and they knew it was me.
I hear some friends down at the ringside.
Yes. This picture didn't print out very well. My printer was running out of ink, but I wanted to show this. This was from last year, Valley Forge Casino.
Yeah.
And
That's where we met, too.
that's where we met, that's right. In the middle is obviously myself. On the side is my father.
Right.
And then Joey I, professional trainer, cut man, also in the movie Creed, he played himself.
Yeah.
And then also on the very end is Bernard Bruni, a professional boxing referee who judged some of my amateur fights.
Yeah.
So he became a good friend of mine. I always warn about that photo. You get all them Italians together, don't throw any provolone or homemade wine in front of us because it'll be a free-for-all.
Yeah. I don't know if you can stand up without messing up the thing.
I'll
Can
try
you
not
put
to.
His stockings without messing anything up. Uh-oh, the thing came off. Okay.
I'll put it back on. I can do it.
You can put it on there.
We have the
Just stand up and just see what
We have
what
the
you look
Philly
like
socks.
there. Camera, can you hit there?
we have the custom-made Philly sneakers.
Okay.
We have the shorts with the World Series patch on them. So we try to make everything custom on here. Nobody else can replicate this outfit.
Okay.
We want to keep it that way. We want to be
Okay.
unique.
Now, who are some of the celebrities you've met since you've gone into the stands
Into
with
the
the
games like
people?
this? Well, some of the celebrities, I've met some of the players. I've got to meet and get pictures with some of the players, some of the young players they got on their team, some of the up-and-coming guys. Freddie Galvis, met him last year. I met a young kid they got on their team this year, Tyler Goodell, very nice gentleman, a minor league player they got. I met last year before we got traded. I met Chase Utley, Carlos Ruiz. I met a couple of those guys. And they even like to point at me and talk to me. I met some of their coaches. Milt Thompson, when he was their coach, I met him, got a picture with him. And this past year when I was down there, one of the funny stories is I go down there.
where?
Down in Clearwater, Florida.
In Clearwater.
I go to Clearwater every year for a couple games at spring training. And I meet some friends down there. They come down too, and we all hang out together. And last year, I missed the one game that the owner of their minor league team, the Clearwater Threshers, he has the 2008 World Series ring that I showed you earlier wearing.
Yeah.
And he lets fans wear it. Now, obviously, he walks around with security, so no one can steal it, because this thing has 103 diamonds.
Yeah.
And he has a rule. He puts it on your finger. You have to pose with your hand like this, and you have to sneer. You can't smile. You have to do that. Why sneer all the time? So, and then he takes it off your finger. So he puts it on. I make the fist. I got a pretty big fist.
Yeah.
All them years of boxing.
Yeah.
I pose up here, I make the sneer, he goes to take it off, it gets stuck on my finger.
Oh.
And he pulls again, and it's starting to hurt. I said, yo, that hurts.
Right.
And he goes, I'll cut it off. And he wasn't talking about the ring.
Oh.
So I squinched, I tightened my finger like that, and I contracted the muscles, and it just came off. I didn't want to lose my finger down in Florida. I feel like the alligators. When I go down there, I also met the mascot of their Clearwater Threshers team. He's a shark.
What is it? What is it?
He's dressed as a shark. His name is
that's because
the
of
Thresher.
fish.
And
Florida.
his name is the
Marlins.
Yeah, his name is Finley.
Yeah.
So I get a picture of Finley every year, and then I get a message. I gave you a card for my Facebook fan page. I have a fan page, and I'll get to that in a moment. But I gave him my card, and he's on my page. He sends me an email about 3 weeks ago. He goes, hey, this is the friend, the best friend of Finley, which they always say the friend of the fanatic, who is the guy that plays the fanatic.
Yeah.
He goes, this is Finley's best friend. Are you going to be at the game in Philadelphia tonight? And I said, no, I was at the game last night. I said, I wish you would have told me.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, because I wanted to get a picture with you in your stadium because you always get one with me in my stadium.
Oh.
But the fan page idea came up. As I said, I came up with this outfit a couple years ago. It got this whole outfit got designed in 2012. The hat, the cape, then I came up with the shorts, the socks, all that. So I was at a game with an old coworker of mine, and she said, you need a fan page. I said, I need a what? Who wants to be on my fan page? She goes, you took about 100 photos tonight with different fans.
Yeah.
You need a fan page. And I came back from a game one time, and I went on my Facebook page, and I had 3 or 4 friend requests from people that I didn't know. But they were sending me pictures of pictures they took with me. I said, okay, I'm going to come up with a fan page, and I did. And it's Superfan, Tony Tornado Pennycow, and then the page is facebook.com/Phillies Tornado, just like the baseball team, /Phillies Tornado. And I have now, in 3 years, almost 600 people on there. So when I go to a game, and I'm in full outfit, and people come up for photos, I accommodate everybody.
And you don't get paid to do this, right?
No, I do not. I was at
You get paid weekly, very weekly.
Oh, I get paid weekly in my
Weekly.
regular job. Yes, I do. And I do work for a division of Independence Blue Cross.
All right, tell me that. Now, your
Yes.
job.
My job, and they said this to me, I was doing an interview a few weeks ago, and they said, do you do this outfit at every game? I said, no, I have to go to work. I have a job. They said, oh, where do you work? And I said, well, I work for a division of Independence Blue Cross. My company, which is right down in Center City on Market Street, it's called AmeriHealth Administrators. I'm part of the client engagement team, and I want to give a shout out to all my client engagement teammates today. Well, I want to say hi to Aisha, Tamia, Patty Wack,
Your
Tom.
boss. You got plugged this guy.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he
Oh,
allowed
no,
you to do it.
I got to say hi to Jill and Maria, but then I also got to say hi to Matt. Matt, I want to thank you for letting me take some time off today to film this
Get
show.
Pat on our show, too.
I know he appreciates it. I'll get, well, I said I would like to get Matt on. Matt, how you doing?
Right.
But they allow me to do this. I worked from home this morning, and I'll work from home when I get home today in the afternoon. And my job is I deal with our clients. So if our clients have an issue with a claim not getting paid right, or say one of their employees.
You're a hitman.
No, I'm not a hitman. I'm a fixed man.
you can help somebody out.
Yes, I will. If we have a situation where a claim didn't get paid right, I'll investigate it. And I'll say, oh, this claim did not pay right. I'll send it to get adjusted. And then I'll send them an email. And I got to have that done within 2 hours. Identify it's done wrong and get it fixed. Because that's our time frame.
Right.
So our clients tend to like our services. Or say somebody has to get enrolled immediately. So-and-so has to go to the doctor today, and their insurance is supposed to start today. We have to get him to the doctor. He has a cold, or he has a sore throat. It comes to me, I send it to the enrollment team. He is enrolled within 2 hours, and I have a temporary ID card sent to the employer saying your member can now go to the doctors.
Okay.
So that's what I do, and hey, I'm nothing without the great team I work with.
Where do you live?
I live in Harleysville.
All right. Now, Harleysville, and
Yes,
you work
sir.
in Philadelphia.
Yes, I do.
How do you get there?
I take the train.
You take a choo-choo train?
I take the choo-choo train to and
All
from
right.
every
now,
day.
when you get in on the choo-choo train, right,
Yes.
and you sit down, is the train crowded?
When I get on the train, no. Because when I go to work, I'm about the 3rd stop in the morning, so I always get a seat. There's about 5 stops after me before we express to Center City.
Right.
When I'm coming home at night, I'm about the 2nd or 3rd stop. And We then express to Fort Washington before we start dropping people off again before my stop at Lansdale. So I am guaranteed a seat every day.
All right. Now, you have a seat.
Yes, I do.
How about some elderly woman or that sees somebody that is like leaning and needs a little help? Do you get up and give them their seat?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I was raised the right way. I was raised to be a gentleman, and I believe a gentleman should always give their seat to a lady.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Phone call. A gentleman should always give their seat to a lady or an elderly person or somebody with a disability.
Yeah.
So I have no problem getting up, and the one day I was frustrated. It was a long day. It was a rough day at work. It was kind of warm out, and I got on the train. I was, tired. I had gotten up early that morning, and the train was especially crowded.
Yeah.
And I saw, some women get on at a stop, one stop after me, and there was no seats left, and I was sitting down. And then I saw, a few elderly people get on, and I'm only one person. I can only give up one seat. So I gave up my seat to an elderly lady, and she said, no, please, I'm okay. And I said, no, ma'am, I insist. I'm a gentleman. I want you to take my seat. And she did, and she thanked me. And she took that to, I think it was Fort Washington, one of the first stops after the Express. She thanked me, and she got off. But I was writing on there as I'm standing up, and I'm looking at people younger than me, a lot of guys younger than me, that maybe 20 years old. And they had their headphones on, they had their, their phone, they're looking, they're tapping on their phone. And one guy's sleeping, he's snoring. And I'm like, what'd you do today? Maybe you went to school, or maybe you worked, but I'm sure you worked in an office where you sat down for 8 hours. Let a person have a seat. Let a lady have a seat. Let an older or handicapped person have a seat. And I wrote it on Facebook, and that's when you saw it. And you said,
I took an interest in that.
Yeah,
I said,
and you said,
maybe you should start something.
And you said I ought to come up with a phrase.
You ought to get a whistle. And say, give up your seats, everybody that, whatever.
Well, one thing you also said was you ought to come up with a phrase. And about the day after you said that, somebody...
So what do you do when you give up your seat? What do you say, out loud?
I say it out loud now.
What do you say?
Because that was your idea. I sat up there and said, please, take my seat. I'm a gentleman. I'm a young guy. I will happily have you take my seat. I'll stand. And there had been times, just one of them the other day, because I emailed you and said, guess who's standing again? I'm the only one. And right after I typed that to you, I saw another young man get up, and he motioned to a woman and said, please, take my seat. And I kind of nodded at him, and I was like, if we can just change one at a time.
Yeah.
But there's a saying I believe in, Hank. It's called being a gentleman never goes out of style.
Never.
Clothing goes out of style. Hairstyles go out of style. Music goes out of style. Being a gentleman never goes out of style.
My mom always says, do good and forget. Do bad and regret.
I believe that.
And that's so a little bit of respect never hurt anybody. Now, I got another idea for you now. You got to start respect. Get up, give up the seat to somebody that's, I don't know what, worthy or whatever word you want to use. Okay. Now, years ago in Chicago, Cubs or whatever, the guy used to sing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yes.
Okay.
Harry Carey.
I think that you should sing. Get 10, 15, 20 guys around and start singing in a group outside, whether it's in the parking lot, whether it's inside the stands, and little by little, everybody will join in.
Okay.
And then maybe a microphone, TV will come on there, and then everybody will be singing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Now, whether that would be before the game, during, after they sing the "God Bless America" second in the seventh inning or something.
Yes.
In there, and it'll break. Even if you get 15 people singing one time, it'll 20, 30, 40.
That's a great idea.
You put your uniform in business.
Yeah. Well, the next game I'm going to is Saturday, May 21st. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock game. A friend of mine's band is playing over at Xfinity, so I'm going to see them at 1 o'clock. And my friend's band that's playing, those are some of the guys and their girlfriends and wives that join me in Clearwater every year.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm going over to see them at 1 o'clock.
Why don't you, all right, I'll tell you what. Why don't we, all right, let's practice up. Take me out to the ball game. I'll lead it. Ready?
I'm ready.
Take
me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I never come back, for it's root, root for the Phillies.
If they don't win, it's a shame.
For it's 1, 2,
3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
And a pretzel. Break it in half, right?
Give you the bigger hand.
Now, you're at the ball game. Okay, you know. I can't talk with all that on that. All right, now, tell me about what school did you go to? When you first elementary school?
I started at Queen of Peace till 1st grade, then I moved.
Where?
I moved to Glenside.
Okay.
So then I went to St. Luke's down on Mount Carmel Avenue in Glenside. I went there from 2nd to 8th grade. Then I moved on to Bishop McDevitt High School. The Bishop McDevitt in Wyncote, not the one in Harrisburg, the one in Wyncote. After I graduated from Bishop McDevitt in 1994, I went to Lock Haven University, and that's when I first...
Lock Haven, that's up near Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Or where?
Lock Haven is closer to State College. You would get on Route 80 and go west. No, Scranton's up northeast.
Oh, okay.
Lock Haven's about the dead center of the state. It's closer to Penn State.
Oh, I thought that was the one. I thought it was up around. You get off the turnpike near the Poconos, no?
No, that's not Lock Haven. Lock Haven, you would get up and you would get off at Route 80, go on Route 80 west for 100 miles, and then.
What'd you take up in school?
I was a journalism, mass communications.
Journalism.
Yes, with public relations and advertising background. That was my emphasis. As you can see, I can relate to the public. And that's why I enjoy what I do now, because even though I'm not technically in my field, with what I do now is relating to people. When I work as a client engagement representative, I'm relating with our clients. I'm working with our clients. I'm helping them solve their problems. And I'm helping out our sales reps. When I'm at the Phillies game, it's like being public relations all over. And one thing I was going to say, we were talking about boxing earlier, and I boxed for Lock Haven University. I was a 2-time All-American for them.
They still have a boxing program?
Yes, they do. I'm the vice president of their team alumni.
I think that every school should have some kind of boxing program where teaching somebody self-defense. There wouldn't be as much bullying.
Oh.
Let me say, I had a boxing team, Northtown, and and these kids that could fight, learn how to box. They didn't go around trying to beat anybody up, but nobody fooled with them. So bullies talk tough, act tough, dress tough, and they can't lick a postage stamp, okay? Believe me, I know. And I'm a former police officer, referee, boxer, amateur, professional, everything. So I know a little bit about it. If a kid can defend himself, it's all, he wouldn't be afraid to take a step forward. He wouldn't be afraid to ask for a raise. He wouldn't be afraid to take a chance on business or something. So boxing is one sport where the bell rings, you got to think for yourself. You don't have 15 guys telling you what to do with earphones and all.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have a teammate you can tag in or substitute or anything like that.
And if you make a mistake, you get instant punishment.
Yes.
If you keep your hand too low, you get hit in the chin.
And that could end the night very quickly. There's no timeout.
Right.
One thing with regards to boxing and what it taught me was in high school, I was average. I was a decent student, but I wasn't great. I was an okay football player. I wasn't great. I wasn't the most popular, so I wanted a way to stand out. And I was making a mistake at the time because I was 16, 17 years old. I was starting to get in fights, and that was my stupidity. So I channeled that into boxing, and boxing taught me the most important thing in my life, and that's confidence. Taught me respect, but it taught me confidence.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you want to find out how tough I am, take a couple dollars out of your wallet, buy a ticket, come see me at the fights, and I'll give you a good show.
Right.
And it taught me respect, it taught me self-confidence. So now when I do this outfit, people say, you're comfortable in your own skin. I don't know what that means, but I'm confident in my own skin. I came on your show wearing a gold tuxedo last time.
Yeah, right.
And we had a lot of laughs because that doesn't bother me. I wore that to work. Wow. And when I wear the game, I said that to a friend of mine. He was like, oh, I could never do that. I said, why not? You're no different than I am. He goes, well, you can wear it better. I said, no, I have confidence in myself.
Right,
I have
right.
I have charisma. I'll give you that, but I'm
Right.
confident with it.
For you getting up in the train with all strangers and tell everybody that you're giving up your seat. I mean, there's different kind of guts.
Yeah.
Different kind of guts. When I was a policeman, they told me there was a guy in there with guns and everything. I would find a way of getting in there. Now, if they told me there was a guy up on the 16th floor on the roof, I can't get up there because
Right.
I can't. But everybody has a talent.
Exactly.
Everybody has something, that they can add to. And it's the same thing. You can't be a master of all, And so what you're doing, I talked to the Stan Husky today, yesterday, and I says, how about doing a story on my man here, So we're going to do a story on
Love
you.
it.
So that'll help you to open some doors in
Yeah.
reference to on the train and down in Philadelphia, you can start singing.
Yes.
I,
I'm going to tell you, here's a funny one
that's
for you.
all right.
You'll
Now we
love
got
this.
30 seconds. Anything you want to wrap up with?
Well, just wrapping up, I just want to say I want to thank you for being on again. I want to, hey, if
you're
anybody.
coming back. I'm going to come back.
Oh, absolutely. I'll come back anytime you want.
All right.
May 21st, if anybody wants to come to the game, come see me at the game. I'll be at Xfinity till about 2:30. I'll be over at the game at 3 o'clock. Come get your picture with me. Post it on my fan page. Like my page, facebook.com/Phillies Tornado. Tony the Tornado, we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. And hey, it's all about meeting people, engaging with people, and showing respect.
Right. And on the choo-choo train.
On the choo-choo train.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home. And Tony Hurricane, left hook and right hook. And so we want to close it with a little bit of Philadelphia pretzel, like this. And then, ready? Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Find me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I never get back.
It's root, root, root for the Phillies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Thank you. We're here at Northtown High School. May God bless each and every one. Keep bobbing and weaving and keep your trunks off the canvas.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.